the mayor of Hemstead arrested. Now he's been indicted. The charge for Mayor Michael Wolf: theft of service by a public servant.
Further investigation also uncovered questionable purchases on the former mayor's city-issued credit card.
There were Netflix accounts, there were multiple gas charges that essentially couldn't even be possible for one card.
Our theory of the case was the system was set up as such where basically everything at City Hall flowed through the mayor.
So let's predict what will happen to the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard.
Somebody going to jail.
If you've been on this channel for a while, you know all about the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard, and all the ratchetness that's going along around her. The drama, the FBI looking into things, and her charity getting the boot.
Ha! Watch me work! Watch me work! Watch my feet! Watch my feet! Watch my feet! Watch me work!
Sometime later.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard blaming trustees for the village's troubles.
Stop creating chaos.
Dalton trustees passed a resolution last month requiring her to turn over the village's financial records and asking the FBI to investigate her alleged misuse of village funds. Monday night, the mayor vetoed their resolution.
It's a lot to take in, but here's where things get a little bit more interesting. Let's talk about a corrupt guy named Michael Wolf, the former Hemstead mayor. Michael Wolf's story is like a typical corrupt politician's tale. He got caught using city money for his own gains and ended up with a 6-year timeout in prison. The question buzzing around is, with all that's happening around Tiffany Henyard, could she be facing a similar tale? We're going to dive deep, comparing these two stories to see what lessons that we can learn and what the future might hold for Tiffany Henyard. Let's get into it. Being informed about misuse of power is the first step to empowerment. Similarly, with our today's sponsor, Aura empowers you by informing you about who has your personal information and how to protect it. Did you know that data brokers are out there selling your personal info, like your full name, email, home address, even health records and details about your relatives? It's a scary thought. That information can fall into the hands of scammers, spammers, and all types of unwanted attention. This is why you need to check out Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura is an absolute game changer. This powerful tool provides comprehensive digital protection, alerting you to any fraud signs by monitoring billions of data points. It's packed with features like antivirus, password management, and VPN services to keep both your devices and your personal information under lock and key. Plus, if the worst happens and you fall victim to identity theft, Aura's white glove fraud resolution team is there to support you every step of the way, backed by a $1 million insurance policy for every adult member on your plan. And guess what? You can experience Aura's full suite of protective features absolutely free for 14 days. Don't leave your digital security to chance. Take the proactive step today with Aura. Sign up for the 14-day free trial and start your journey to a more secure digital future. Protect yourself and your family with Aura. The link to sign up will be in the description in the pinned comment below. Now let's get into it. So let's talk about Michael Wolf, the former mayor of Hemstead, found himself in deep trouble following a routine audit that brought to light some questionable financial activities at City Hall. This audit was the beginning of a series of investigations that would eventually lead to Wolf's downfall. The core of the issue revolved around the misuse of taxpayer money, a serious breach of trust for any public official. This sounds very familiar. Wolf was accused of using his position as a mayor to divert city funds for personal gain, as well as for the benefit of his family, friends, and supporters. Sounds familiar? This kind of behavior is not only unethical, but also illegal, as it constitutes a misuse of public funds.
Waller County District Attorney Sean Whitmore says a yearly audit of city finances was the first red flag. It uncovered certain people getting a pass on not paying their utility bills. That led to more questions about how former Mayor Michael Wolf was spending taxpayer dollars.
The evidence against Wolf was substantial and damning. Prosecutors were able to amass binders full of invoices and maps related to road work that was either never started or left incomplete. This was particularly egregious because these funds were meant for the public infrastructure projects that are essential for the community's well-being. This sounds very familiar. The investigation revealed that more than $2 million allocated for road work, all approved by Michael Wolf, went to a single vendor without proper oversight or competitive bidding. This sounds very familiar.
When you looked at the pattern of these invoices over time and where the work was being done, A, there was absolutely no supervision of the road work, and the city had paid for roads that still don't exist.
This lack of checks and balances is a red flag for any government operation, as it opens the door for corruption and fraud. The pattern of invoices over time show a clear lack of supervision over the road work in the city, with many projects paid for but never realized. So this dude was straight stealing money. One of the most telling pieces of evidence was the way Wolf managed the invoicing to avoid drawing attention. This was his scheme. He approved invoices that were just under the $50,000 threshold, which would have required the projects to be put on for public bidding. This clever manipulation of numbers was a clear attempt to keep the dealings under the radar, but ultimately became a significant part of the evidence against him. So initially, Michael Wolf pleaded not guilty to the charges. The man was going to fight. He said, "I'm innocent, I did nothing wrong," which is a common response in legal battles, especially in cases involving public officials. However, as the trial progressed and the evidence mounted, Wolf changed his plea to guilty. He knew he messed up, he knew he did something wrong, and he realized that he wasn't going to be able to get away with it. By pleading guilty, Wolf acknowledged his actions and their impact on the community he was elected to serve. Millions of dollars were stolen. Projects like roadwork and other infrastructures were not done because this man only cared about himself and the people that he surrounded himself with.
After initially pleading not guilty, Wolf's attorney told prosecutors this morning his client had changed his mind and would plead guilty. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison.
He can't go out there and say, well, the jury got it wrong or the judge got it wrong, I'm still innocent. No, you admitted to that conduct.
The sentencing phase of the trial was basically an accumulation of the legal process, with Wolf receiving a 6-year prison sentence. This sentence was a clear message from the judiciary that abuse of the office and misuse of public funds will not be tolerated. This also strips Wolf's ability to claim innocence, as his guilty plea is an admission of the crimes he committed. The case of Mike Wolf is a cautionary tale about the importance of integrity and accountability in public office. It highlights the need for oversight to prevent the misuse of public funds, to ensure that elected officials serve the best interests of their communities. The investigation into the vendors involved in the roadwork projects indicate that the legal ramifications of this case may not be over, as those who enabled or benefited from Wolf's actions might also face some consequences. And I believe they definitely should. But let's compare the cases between former Mayor Mike Wolf and the current Mayor Tiffany Henyard. So, similar issues. Misuse of public funds. Wolf got in trouble for the misapplication of taxpayer funds, with a total loss to the city over $2 million, mainly through approving invoices for road work that wasn't done at all, or didn't even start. Henyard is accused of spending taxpayer money on self-promotion, lavish trips, and a personal security detail, paying a lot of money for overtime for these police officers as she walks around pretending that she's the president, leading to significant overtime costs. Also, we could talk about the abuse of power. As we said before, Michael Wolf approved multiple invoices from a contractor firm without ensuring the work has been done or was even up to standard, indicating a lack of oversight and potential abuse of power. Henyard, using public employees and vehicles for personal charity and taking police officers off the street to create a personal security detail, suggesting an abuse of a position for personal benefit.
You have a charity that from the Attorney General's office is, I understand they sent a cease and desist letter to your foundation?
I don't know nothing about that. I'm not crazy, I'm not
You have
deranged.
Tiffany Henyard Cares, your foundation. So the Attorney General's office hasn't reached out to you regarding your foundation?
So I want to set the record straight. I don't have a foundation.
Meanwhile,
I'm doing that I'm really, really big on, that's dear to my heart, is I'm real big on a cancer foundation. I have created Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation, and what that entails is helping everybody within the 17 municipalities with services.
So let's predict what will happen to the super mayor Tiffany Henyard, given the similarities in the misuse of public resources and potential abuse of power. If the investigations into Henyard's actions revealed substantial evidence of legal violations similar to the ones that were found in Michael Wolf's case, she could face serious legal consequences. As you guys may already know, Mayor Tiffany Henyard of Dalton is facing serious allegations of political retaliation and misconduct. There have been reports of bars being shut down in Dalton, which employees and owners claim are part of a campaign of harassment by Mayor Henyard, costing jobs and money. Additionally, the FBI is investigating Henyard over accusations of misconduct and misuse of office. And the Illinois Attorney General has shut down her charity. These allegations suggest a pattern of abuse of power and the potential misuse of public resources for personal or political gain. Both cases highlight the critical importance of transparency, accountability, and ethical conduct in public office. Misusing public funds or authority not only betrays public trust, but also undermines the integrity of the office and can have lasting negative impacts on the community. Whether it's financial mismanagement or political retaliation, these actions divert resources and attention from the public good to serve personal or political interests. It's essential for all public officials to remember their duty to serve the constituents' best interests, not their own. And they need to uphold principles of good governance. These investigations and legal proceedings serve to hold individuals accountable and reinforces the standards expected of those in public service. So we'll see in the next couple of weeks what will happen to Tiffany Henyard. But let's not forget, this took many years for Michael Wolf to receive the sentence that he got. He was not serving as mayor when he finally got prosecuted. So this may take many years. It may take a couple of months. We don't know. It's going to be extremely interesting what happens to the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard. And when that happens, we'll talk all about it. Thank you to the sponsor of this video, or check out the link in the description below. And thank you for taking the time to check out this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video.